everyone. Today I'm going to be sharing just a little bit about play-based learning. So I want to start just a little bit with what is play-based learning. So it really is exactly what it sounds like. This is a teaching strategy that's meant to allow students to learn while they are playing. So it's very playful in nature, very student-centered, and it's really going to focus on students' development, their interests, and their abilities. Now, what people don't realize is as long as it is intentionally planned, these activities can be really connected to certain objectives and driven by standards. Play-based learning also gives students more freedom. It allows them to investigate, and oftentimes children are really learning from their mistakes in this kind of learning and playing. I'm sure many people have heard this phrase from others. When I was in kindergarten. As a kindergarten teacher, I hear this all the time. When I was in kindergarten, and a lot of people are talking about just how different kindergarten looks today than it used to. So research has actually found that the amount of time that kindergartners are spending playing is decreasing. And what they have also found is the amount of time that direct instruction is happening in a kindergarten classroom is increasing. So I want to take a minute to also talk about direct instruction. So direct instruction is very teacher directed. A lot of times it's whole group, very driven by assessment. It can be fast paced, so very different than play-based learning. However, studies have shown that it really is effective. Now, studies have also shown that play-based learning is effective. So, what we really should be aiming to do is have a blend of each. Play-based learning is not meant to replace direct instruction, but it's really important and has a lot of benefits. So this presentation isn't about we should be moving to play-based learning and only focusing on play-based learning. Direct instruction is really great and really important, but we need to be focusing on having a mix of both. Okay, so now that we've talked about what play-based learning is and the differences between play-based learning and direct instruction and how we really want to be using both, now I want to talk a little bit about why we should be incorporating play-based learning. So there's a lot of different benefits to play-based learning for students. So the first is that students can practice reading and writing skills in really authentic ways. So later on, I'm going to show some real examples of what play-based learning looks like, but we know how important it is for students to learn in authentic ways, and play-based learning offers a really great way for students to do this. So that's for sure one benefit of play-based learning. Another is that during play-based learning, students have opportunities to really be challenged, explore their interests, and oftentimes when they're playing with other students, this is a great time that they're able to expand their vocabulary. The biggest one I think I see in my own kindergarten classroom are the social benefits. Because students are playing with each other, this is a really great area that benefits students by using play-based learning. So of course, as students are playing with each other, they're working on communication, they're working on self-regulation as they're trying to figure out how to play with each other. Things might not always go their way. How are they going to cope with that? Right? Some other things are they are learning how to express themselves to their friends. How do they share thoughts, feelings, right? So a lot of different social skills just by being involved with other students. Now, there are different types of play, and trying to use play as an instructional strategy is a little bit tricky when there's so many different ways that students can play. So on this slide, there's a picture showing the different kinds of play. So all the way on one end, we have free play. And this is where students are making all of the choices. It's very open, and the teacher is a little more hands-off. All the way on the other side is where we have direct instruction, which we've already talked about. We want to be somewhere in the middle for play-based learning. So we want children to have freedoms, we want them to have choices, but The teacher needs to be really intentional in how they're planning these lessons. Teachers should be constantly observing the play, and teachers are really involved in this play. They're helping students, they're having conversations with students, and they're really guiding the play. So, my favorite part of play-based learning is how creative I can be in making these fun play lessons. So, really, there are so many different ways that you can get students playing and learning, but I wanted to give a few examples just to get you thinking of what this might look like. So, one idea is having some play that's really exploratory. So, let's say you're teaching 3D shapes. You might have students reach into a bag and grab a 3D shape with their eyes closed. And they might explain to you how it feels, what they notice. And then you might take this a step further. And something I love to do that studies have also included is things like exploring their own environment, making it authentic. So, after learning about the different 3D shapes, could you go on a scavenger hunt around the classroom, around the community, wherever you're able to take them, and can they find these shapes in real life? That's always really fun for students and really is important for them to see those 3D shapes in an authentic way. Another example, real life opportunities. So one of the studies I was reading explained that there was a school that had a mail center, and this mail center allowed students to write notes to family members. And when family members came into the school, they had supplies out that family members could also write letters to students. And the teachers would be responsible for delivering the mail, and it was really exciting. And students weren't ever told that they had to do this, but it was a real authentic opportunity for them to write a letter to their families. And also this was working on their literacy skills. So I thought that was really great and something I would love to try out. And then the one that I do in my classroom the most is dramatic play. So dramatic play can include so many different things, but in my room, I really have a lot of math and literacy skills mixed in with this. So you just have to make sure that you have enough supplies readily available to students, but think about different scenarios. If there can be a cashier, you can tie in so many math skills. Anything where students need to write something down, writing a grocery list if they're playing house. If they have those materials available to them, oftentimes it comes up kind of naturally because students see people around them using these math and literacy skills in real life. And when they go to mimic that, they don't even realize that that is what they're doing. So when the teacher is there guiding them, it turns into a really great learning opportunity. So while I was looking at articles for this presentation, I found some really great articles that explain more about what play-based learning is, where it came from, even more ideas of how to start using play-based learning in your classroom, what it should look like. And so I'm hopeful that if anybody is interested in trying out play-based learning in their classrooms, I've left the references in here to those articles. They could be really beneficial to read before starting. So I left them here, take a look at them, and if anybody has questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.